Thing is, though, as a result of going for a force, they have no nades. Absolutely none. So this is going to be down to entry fragging. Hoping that Fnatic maybe show themselves a bit too long. Tech9 through mid doesn't really tell them anything. If they do hear an AK rattle off, then Fnatic are going to have a good idea as to what's coming up against them. And it's Flusher who's on B alone. So similar idea to Train for the time being.
And Zeus will try to edge around and see if he can spot anything through that smoke. Now just hold the angle, just waiting for that smoke to dissipate, and they will attack. As you noted, there is no utility, so they can't even block CT spawn, which means whoever rotates first will get free shots on them with the crossfire with Flusha. But Adren doing so much work with the Deagle in middle will hold everything in place for the most part. He's done his job and then some. Now they can split Flusha on B. He's going to have so much to deal with here. It's going to be so difficult.
To make matters worse, he's going to have to reload, which is going to give up some vital room as he gets pushed in. Doji can now use the right-hand side. He's going to get double-faced by Zeus. Additionally, who has an AK, but didn't get the kill with it. Going to trade out with Doji now, who has more health. Zeus just on 13. Crims and Dennis die a second apart. And Fnatic, who started so solidly with that pistol, they're now going to have to force bind just to keep themselves afloat.
And we're going to have that scrappy start to this game as both teams fight for economic control and force the other to tap out. Not quite yet, though, as Fnatic will get the Deagles and CZs. Just good play from Gambit, isolating Flusha on B. I think the work Adren does at Arch was massive with that Deagle. He got a kill and did so much damage. Dozier was a part of that as well. Really limited any type of rotation to assist Flusha in B. And so they steal that round away. They're looking to see if they can follow it up here as we see them opening up fairly default. Again, about as standard as it gets for them. Hobbit working over towards B. And Dren and company also looking to get control of those apartments. A little bit of damage being done to Olaf there as he has to back off.
Wasn't far off just getting outright headshot in that position. Instead, loses 21 health. Again, Flusher's by his lonesome on the B side. This is something that has become more difficult with the newer version of Inferno, as holding B alone. I suppose it is in pistols, though. We'll see if that changes once the full rifles and AWPs come into play. That nade not going to do that much damage, and now he's going to get mullied out of position. Fast rotation is on the way. Dennis joined by Olaf Meister, who's looking to maybe try his luck through the smoke. Flush is doing quite a bit of damage now with his DZ. He's tacked up 2 players very low, and Olaf is going to finish off Dozier. Caught while reloading his weapon. Always a horrible feeling. And now Crims left alive with a Deagle and Kevlar, and this wouldn't be horrible to take through into the next round, all things considered. So, looks as though Gambit are going to take the 2-1 lead.
Yeah, so I think they're going to finally force Fnatic to kind of chill out here on buying. Yeah, the Deagle and armor could certainly give them something to work with in the next round, but other than that, I'm sure they'll save out. Which means Gambit should be able to force it 3-1. As Fnatic have to recuperate those funds, it's going to take them a little bit of time to do it. And even when they get their first full buy, it still probably won't really be the best. I'm sure it'll be limited in some ways. So Gambit have gained a lot here by forcing this round through. And it always stinks to be on the back foot as a CT economically, especially on a map like this where you could really use having all that utility to kind of hold off Banana. That's one of the tried and true ways to play B as CT, is just making sure that you can constantly time out those smokes and incendiaries to stop them from being able to get top Banana control, or to hold them off from being able to push the site. And if you're limiting that going forward, that can really open up Gambit's options.
Double Mac 10s for the dollar bills. Gambit will be looking to try and force them down range as Crims goes for the early peak. So the only Kevlar, the only weapon they had other than USPs has already been lost, and they're not in a position to even get it back. But Dozier, who trades his gun, I think he was switching to his Glock or something, and he just got completely pasted point-blank range with the USP. Just a drop in the bucket, though, doesn't really mean anything in terms of how this round's going to play out. I would be simply amazed if Fnatic even got more kills out of this round from this point.
Yeah, really shouldn't be getting anything else here. Just trying to hunt for whatever frag they can find. There's nothing really to lose in this situation, but Gambit will not give up anything there, so it will be 3-1, but here comes the buy up from Fnatic now. It's going to be M4s across the board. There's no money out there for an AWP. Even JW will actually just be on a FAMAS to try to make sure he can get that extra utility. So we'll see where things stand now that all the guns are out there. Dren actually holding on to that Mac 10, trying to see if he can get a little bit more cash out of it. Because he is the one that normally fight those close-range battles inside apartments and window room, but this time around he's actually going to be adding over here towards Banana with Hobbit. But the nades have actually kind of pushed them back towards T-Ramp for now, so they'll have to just kind of take it a bit slower.
Slow, the operative word of this round thus far, although Doja has made inroads into apps. Doesn't look like they're going to push behind it just yet. A carpet of smoke has been placed down in position on mid. Doja's starting to get some feedback from the rest of his team that maybe Banana is clear as they're looking to push up that inch by inch, meter by meter. Bomb has been picked up. Just under a minute on the clock, and now they're going to start to make a move towards A, but their options are still very much open here, Dust. I mean, there's no information been gathered for either team at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they have top Banana control. They've had apartments control for a while, but it looks like they really want to gather up here in middle and try to find something, and they do. That's Dennis out thanks to Mo's AWP, and they'll follow that up, but they're actually dropping the bomb back. They know that they're perhaps pulling rotations, but look at this. JW is not budging. Oh, now he begins to rotate, and again, Gambit taking it slow. They want to keep Fnatic guessing where this bomb is headed. And oh, Zeus might even slip in this CT spawn. This is going to be absolutely crushing a B split. There's no way they have any idea this is on the way.
The timing could not have been worse, but now JW's going to make a quick, brisk move. He could catch Zeus in the backside. Now he spots him. He's like, hold on a second, that's a terrorist. Let me take him out the equation. So that rotation isn't quite as deadly as it could have been. 5 seconds left. Doji's got his hands on the bomb, and he's Mo to watch his back. And watch his back he shall. Won't get the kill, but ensures that JW doesn't push his teammate. Looking for the boost, and Olof is going to land the headshot. Doja, 9 health remaining. This is going to take some serious heroics. He picks this one up, going to spray through the coffins. And down he goes. Olof, too solid with the M4. Valiant attempt, but not enough. Fnatic pick up a second.
You got to think it's bigger he picked up on that CT spawn flank, right? If that actually comes through, or if he's able to just hold CT spawn and cut off rotations, that unfolds much differently. So big catch by JW. And so with that in mind, we have Fnatic taking a round back. Still plenty of money for Gambit though, so they'll get a full buy on this round, including an AWP on Mo. AWP will be in action for Fnatic as well here, as JW will hold on to it.
Meanwhile, Zeus just going to be holding down on the T-steps. It's Doji that's going to be going through on the app side. Very reminiscent of that previous round, Dust. Nothing really out of the ordinary.
Yeah, again, this is what you expect from Gambit. This is how a lot of teams play Inferno, right? This is just the basics. You want to make sure you get a control of apartments. You want to make sure you can get top Banana and leave all your options open. Everyone for Gambit to their normal positions. Adren, get engaging Boiler. Hobbit actually over towards B. He can kind of switch it up. Sometimes he'll be apartments as well, but he usually plays Banana, and Doze is usually the other guy with Adren and apartments. But Adren actually gets caught by Olaf, looking to take something a bit more aggressively. And this is one of the trademarks of them on Train, wasn't it? Was the fact they were able to disrupt. This time, though, Mo trades it right back into a 4-on-4 early on. And so now Gambit has to make some decisions here in a 4-on-4. They know that they're going to put strain on the CT side because they're a man short.
With 8 players left, 7 of them are over on the A side of the map, one of which is JW and Library, but no longer going to be an issue. Crimps with a double spray down in the heads of Zeus and Hobbit. That's a huge moment in this round. It could be the determining factor if Fnatic pick this one up. They spoiled for choice as to which player he wants to try and pick off first. They peek him from different angles, and there's Mo for a second. And the third of the round for him. Gambit managed to pick up a 4th. And Fnatic, well, their economy in the dumps once more. Doesn't bode too well for the Swedes right now.
No, certainly not. Gambit starting to win some of those key rounds. This one was pretty big. Crims almost brought it back in, though. He played that pit position so well. He got a couple of kills on the Moto Rapid, so it looked a little bit scary there for Gambit, but they were able to clear him out eventually and stop anyone else from Library and whatnot to be able to get back into the round. And so now they're up 4-2, and Fnatic low on utility and weapons. Just the 3 P250s in play. Default setup, and so Gambit will just start waltzing into B a little bit here with Hobbit leading the way with the low-risk weapon.
Low risk, but high reward. If Gambit can continue to land these headshots and thread the needle. Looking far better on this side already than they did on Train. A shooting gallery opens up, and 2 players for Fnatic will fall down. Dennis and a P250 facing off against the whole Gambit army. Not going to happen as anticipated. So Fnatic, I mean, they've been going down with a bit of a whimper so far, but there's still plenty of time to resuscitate themselves, resurrect this CT half.
Yeah, certainly still some time. No doubt about that. It's still quite early on in this half, but it's just the money that's a big issue for them. They've lost some key rounds that have really set them back economically. Meanwhile, the bank is building pretty big here for Gambit. As we'll see, a little bit of triple B set up here from Fnatic. So trying to do something a little bit different. They have the nades to actually stack it and run down, but right now they're actually being chased back into the site. Now the nades will come off. Hobbit does take a bit of it, but those nades don't really ring out as well as Fnatic may have hoped for. They do have 3 towards B. There is where the most action is taking place here from Gambit as utility does come in on CT spawn, smoking the cross.
Importantly, though, Dennis does have the AK, Kevlar supporting it. Could be a determining factor, and he is now making a move over onto the B side. So they're going to call this is going to be a B hit. Of course, it's no guarantee, set certainty that's the case, especially with so much time remaining.
Yeah, the bomb's already drawing back. You can see it going middle. They've felt pretty confident that they've pulled the rotation. They've heard enough gun noises to know at least 2 are here, and perhaps a 3rd. So they're playing the numbers game now at this point. And they will choose correctly. It's just Olaf here with the 5-7. Does a little bit of chip damage and falls back, at least calls that there's some action in middle. This means the rotation will come back, but will it be here fast enough? Dennis does have that AK, and he's getting in the library.
It's really going to come down to if Olafmeister can get kills, and if so, how many? You have to feel last line of defense on the site itself, and he has fallen, and now the smoke is going to cordon off the likes of Flusher. That bomb should get planted momentarily. Crims and Flusher, 2 remaining counter-terrorists. Make that all on Flusher. Gets spotted from Mo. Going to go back in for second to the P250. And Gambit have picked up yet another one. It was against the Fnatic on an eco. They're going to have a full buy now, but they've got to start making these rifle rounds stick, Dust. They're going to run out of time.
JW has enough money for an AWP here. He's saved up for it. See what he wants to do with it. He normally plays over towards the A side. He's actually one of the few oppers I know that love to play lane. Like, normally oppers are B rotators or art side, but he's a guy who could, like, put it out here on the short side. But this time he's actually taking it towards Banana, kind of taking the place of Olafmeister, who normally plays this rotation position. So just trying to shuffle it into a different spot, see what it can find. Unfortunately, JW won't really get a choice to peek at anything. No one's giving him anything to look at over here. Meanwhile, we're seeing some utility spin over towards middle, mostly from Fnatic to hold off Gambit, but now as it fades, they begin to push up. Mo leading the way with that AWP.
Most of the chip damage has gone the way of Fnatic. Mo and Adren are feeling the sting of war. But mid-control has consistently been assumed by Gambit, and Fnatic have just not been able to deal with that, not been able to repel it thus far.
Yeah, Gambit just taking control of brackets, still leaving their options open. That bomb's still not committed just yet. But you like to think that they want to play here. There's 4 players from Fnatic in the area, though. They're using pretty good counter nades. But now Zeus will use that smoke to push up and peek Arch.
Dennis claims the first kill with just 40 seconds remaining, and Olafmeister is going to come in with a second. Looking much better for Fnatic this one. Can't afford to hemorrhage kills at this stage, though. Put this round to rest, put it to rest comfortably, build the economy, come back into this. Hobbit and Doja still have 20 seconds, which they need to try and figure out if they want to save or try and push onto one of these sites. I mean, with Doja already being at the balcony side of Apps, they may be baited into going for this, but they're going to get caught from behind. Dennis with the spray, drops the bomb out. Doja good for one. Can he get any more? Yes, he can. A second. He's not going to win the round, but it's all about how much damage can he inflict on the CTs. And the answer is 2 lives lost, but Fnatic do pick up a third.
So there you have it. Even though they gave up brackets, they were able to bunker down everywhere else and make sure that Gambit made no more forward progress, which is totally fine. If you can, you know, get that 4th player over and just hold, make sure they can't motor wrap or get in the CT spawn, you know, you're holding out short, giving up brackets is fine. And now they actually go double AWP. So they're going to have it on both ends of the map now. It'll be JW still playing banana with it. Olaf, though, will actually have the other one on the art side. So again, just kind of swapping the positions up just a little bit, making adjustments for what guns they have. Meanwhile, Gambit back to the tried and true default. Dozier will begin pushing up those halls. Crim's playing it aggressively, so we'll see a bit of an exchange, but no damage dealt.
Oh, that's a money nade. It's going to cost him a lot of health and a smoke as well. Able to escape, but by the skin of his teeth. Fnatic have done a decent job of actually stopping any kind of Apps push for the time being, but now that Adren has managed to pierce through on the boiler side, it's going to give them food for thought now.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to go for the triple apartments push. That's definitely in their playbook, just to send, you know, heavy numbers out on balcony. They already have an entry on the A-bomb site to work with. They have plenty of smokes to line up to do that smoke wall on the pit. That's exactly what they're doing. You can see Hobbit sliding over as well. He's going to meet up with Dozier. Adren's going to go back towards mid. I think he has the pop flash they need to come out of balcony with. As I say that, though, he's actually lurking over here towards B, maybe just trying to hold someone in place, but everyone else is gathering up over here towards boiler. So yeah, Drench is going to spoil rotations. That's his job here. But it's definitely going to be a lane apartment split.
Again, though, time is of the essence. It's going to be Olaf and JW both ringing out with their orbs. Olaf with a second. Not able to get a third, but he may well have just put this round to bed by landing those couple shots. Crims doesn't even need to peek. He knows that time's working against the T's. He's going to make sure they all get neutralized. And if use ties after time, it's going to be so brutal, but he is going to get the kill before falling. But Fnatic pick up another round.
Yeah, great op work from Olaf inside the pit. He got the bomb down. That was key. Gambit lose off the clock with this kill right here. It just drops into the pit. No one's able to grab onto it. Really well done by Fnatic. That was definitely a hard situation to handle, given the defense was split up like that. Given that Adren held a couple of players in place over at B, but Olaf comes through. He's been in great form ever since that Mirage thing going wrong. He's been great since.
Absolutely. He's had quite a performance at this event other than that one map. But again, in that map, the rest of his team played so well that there just wasn't that many kills available for him anyway, so you can't really look into that too much. Either way, in the here and now, Dennis has put Fnatic ahead once again as Dozier goes down. He's typically been that Arch Apps player. They will feel the sting of that one. Lots of nades being exchanged, and there's actually only one smoke left for Gambit.
Yeah, indeed, they're running out of utility. They do have it to stop the CT cross again, but they got to get past JW's out. They're trying to boost up, but JW sniffs it out. You're not going to catch him off guard. And so that's another kill going over for Fnatic. Now they're up 5-3 in this round. A lot of time left still for Gambit, but they're running out of numbers to throw at Fnatic. Hobbit will at least get the AWP back, but not for long. JW through the smoke.
The ultimate denial. Olaf Meister with one. Adren does have the bomb and 30 seconds in which to try and utilize it. And this is looking like Fnatic are going to put a third round in a row on the board. It's forced out into the open. How in the hell is Crim's not dead there? He has a head made of lead, apparently.
Sick rhymes.
Completely not intentional, of course.
Didn't even realize it. Solid. Solid banter back and forth. Just goes dead silent. Gotta love it. Anyway, Fnatic
Salty.
Creeping back. Yeah, definitely not triggered. As we will see Fnatic on the heels now of Gambit as they have 5 rounds, just one away from tying this thing back up. So despite the slow start and the tough economic issues they had early on, they are right back in this half in a big way. Gambit's the ones that are running out of options. They're on a pretty low buy this round, in fact, when it comes to utility, and the fact 2 are on Tech 9s. Again, heavy apartments play to start things off. Gambit have been loving trying just to find action through Boiler and getting brackets.
It hasn't made for the most entertaining Counter-Strike, but it has been certainly intense with how slow these pushes have came in for Gambit. They took a commanding lead early doors on this half, but Fnatic have been bringing it back ever so slowly. That Molotov forces Zeus to peak, and in doing so, it's to his detriment. And Gambit are just being reaped at this point. Mo with 2. Optimistic, though, to think that Gambit were going to get anything out of that round, and we're all even once again. Fnatic have came back fully, and Gambit will be into, I would assume, a half-buy territory.
Yeah, they're not going to find a whole lot here, and I think the big thing now is that Gambit are starting to, run out of options to play from once they get that map control. Like, yeah, sure, you're getting control of apartments. At times, you're getting top banana. They're also getting brackets, but Fnatic are content just to sit back and let them have that. But then they just defend really well on the sides. Like, they're not really allowing Gambit to break through anymore. Like, everyone's really stepped up, especially since the AWPs have come out. They've done well. JW getting chased down here, but he's going to get bailed out by Flusha. Well done. Good team play there to make sure JW stays alive. Again, not much in this round for Gambit. And they're already a man down as well, so Fnatic looking to perhaps take the lead once more. I don't think they've had it since the pistol round, basically, so this would be big for them.
Yeah, you are spot on with that. When the pistol instantly got broken, and ever since they've been trailing, this would be a much welcome change of pace. Doja down and out, Zeus and Mo. Not really too much hope of getting this done, surely not, but Zeus is going to pick himself up a kill. And the AWP trades hands. Bomb out in no man's land. That's been salvaged. Now I'm going to move back towards the A side, hoping to catch a CT in transition more than anything else. There's no real reason for Fnatic to budge an inch here. The only player that may want to move is Dennis, and that's round to the back of Banana to try and help out the B, but other than that, just stay in position.
And they pretty much have everything spotted. They have, make sure you can't fall back mid. Flush is watching the B side. He knows that Banana's basically covered by Dennis. They also are making sure motor wrap can't happen. So yeah, all the base is covered, and they will get the kill, and they will get the lead back. Again, from the first time since they were up 1-0, they're now back in charge. And the economy is still a bit low here on the Gambit side in the sense that if they lose this round, they're right back to saving. So it's not like they have a whole lot built up. They need this one to work if they want to have any chance in securing this half. Fnatic, in the meantime, they still have the double op set up in play, and ever since they were able to pull that out, they've been successful. Now, I don't think they've really let up around since they were able to get the snipers in play.
Back to the standard setup from Gambit. To Apps will go Doja, no huge surprises there. Does have Hobbit just behind him. They haven't really tried to play aggressively in Apps themselves. They've been happy enough to just play very passive, deep defense.
Just holding angles with these AWPs has been really the biggest thing for them, and again, it's worked. Every now and then they'll challenge Boiler. Dennis looking like he wants to do it this round.
Bit more aggression now by Gambit. They want to try and take control, stranglehold over mid before it gets too late. Still a minute though on the board, but they are starting to drop into pit. This is a little bit faster paced than what we've seen thus far. It's at the cost of a lot of health, but a kill has gone their way earlier on. Adren down to 9. Crim's still on the site. There's smokes in his eyes. Adren goes in for a kill, but so does Crims, and Doja comes through with one of his own. And Gambit, it seems like turning up the pace was just what was required. 7-7, and Fnatic, a couple of players have very little to use in this final round. It's going to be CZs and M4s.
I mean, again, we talked about it earlier in the game. That's definitely something that was in Gambit's playbook to do these heavy apartments pushes. A couple times it looked like they were setting up for it, but they never quite followed through. This time they do, able to get into pit and kind of use it as a launching pad back into the site. Find some key frags there at the end as well, so they do find that round. Oh, show him a little bit too much is Olaf, and so that means an instant 5-on-4 for Gambit. And now they have a chance to maybe still secure this half despite the comeback efforts of Fnatic. Another entry comes out on middle as well from Adren. And now all that's left for Fnatic is the 3 CZ players.
I understand why JW would go for the balls out play down in Banana. Doesn't work though. Now falls upon Crims. You can hear the footsteps charging his way, hence the smoke. And he's gonna get pinged through the smoke. He does get tagged quite a few times, but he's still alive for time being. There's Hobbit finally finds his man, and RB is very much open for business. Crims though could be in the thick of it if they continue to push his position, but now that Hobbit's on B, the call will come through, it's clear. And although Crims did land the headshot, not enough to get rid of the X-God himself. 8-7, Gambit lead.
Yeah, so a bit of a momentum shift there as Fnatic really started racking up rounds, but Gambit do punch through a couple of more there at the end to make sure they secure a lead, but only a slim one. And as we switch sides, we'll have to see if Fnatic can keep it up. I mean, they do have a chance still here to 2-0. They got that first map over on Train. They did so pretty convincingly. Gambit, though, on Inferno, are certainly looking to hang around for that third map, which I believe is Nuke, if I'm not mistaken. Which would certainly be intriguing to see that come out.
That's correct, yeah, it is Nuke. But will Fnatic allow it to get to that case? Will they allow Nuke to become the deciding, all-decisive map? Dishing out the drinks, keep themselves hydrated. I can imagine it must be pretty hot in those sound booths, actually.
Yeah. I'll be curious to see how things will go. Again, Fnatic will kind of do a lot of the same things as Gambit. Really, a lot of teams on T-Side Inferno just try to play those apartments control and banana control type style of play. Typically, Flush and Olaf trying to charge things out at B. Typically going to see a guy like Crims or JW be really important in apartments. But they also have some of those aggressive, 4 or 5 fan pushes, kind of like you saw on Train, so they can definitely do their pacing changes. This time around, looks like they want to go for something heavy apartments on the pistol round. Got a pop flash coming from middle.
Oh, Doja knows there's a whole bunch of players ahead of him, but Crims actually crouches round the corner and gets himself on the score sheet for this round at the very least, but it's that great cost. Fnatic have already lost 3. Olaf is going to try and even the odds, but still with a player advantage. But now with that kill, it does force over Hobbit to watch B. So effectively, if they went for A, it would be a 2-on-2. Bomb going to get dropped. That suggests to me that Olaf is going to peek Banana. Just making sure if he gets insta-killed, the bomb's not in a horrible spot, but his teammate's now been dropped to 12.
Yeah, he got the heck out of there after that, but Olaf could still find the entry over here. Nope, never mind. All right, so that's not an option anymore either. Well done to Gambit. They've pretty much locked this one up. And yeah, Fnatic was trying to do something fast at apartments. They could absolutely shut down. I thought there was going to be a pop flash from middle, but it was actually Flusher with a smoke grenade, so they didn't really have an easy way out. It had to come down just to pure fragging, and unfortunately for them, Gambit was up to the task. Almost a team ace. Only Zeus not able to find a piece in this round. And obviously Flusher will see what he can do, but the chances of a bomb planter practically 0.
Yeah, I mean, we're already talking like the round's kind of over, but that's because Flusher's got 12 health, and he's about to push a site where there's 2 players waiting. Even if he does get the kill on the site, which he's not, there's so many angles for him to cover. There's another player in library that could have got him on the cross. Very difficult for Crims. And Gambit have picked up the second pistol. Forced by, of course, Fnatic didn't get a bomb planted. There's no reason for them to wait for AKs, maybe in the next round. They're going all in on this one. Olaf, is he going to hold off? That suggests he wants the AWP as soon as possible.
Certainly does. No, never mind, gets the Deagle armor
just
there.
Just a late bite. It's going to get Deagle. Makes a lot more sense to me.
So it seems like they might do something similar this round, but now they do actually have a little bit more utility to back it up as well. They do have the flashes on Flusha and Dennis to maybe help them get out of apartments. So they certainly have a heavy lean over here towards middle and alt. We already do see JW pushing up with that CZ.
Looking to return the favor of Fnatic. This is pretty much how Gambit set up the majority of their T rounds.
Yeah.
Throw on mid side. Zeus about to see action. UMP Pretty solid choice for this position at this moment in time. A lot of players up in his face, and he's only able to get the one, and didn't do a huge amount of damage to the oncoming terrorist train through on arches. That is going to be a worry for the rest of Gambit now, who are very much isolated from one another as two teams of two, effectively.
Yeah, now with them controlling CT spawn, they can really limit what Gambit can do here. They just need to try to find a pick on one of these sites. They're trying to send Flusha around apartments, see if he can find it. Double pit set up for Gambit so they can really maintain a wrap in apartments pushes pretty well. They even begin to see Adren rotate, who now clears out CT spawn for them. So not bad for Gambit.
Doja needs to get this kill. He's going to come back out into the open as Mo dispatches of JW. There is actually a bit of team wounding going on as well, and amongst all of the chaos, but the bomb's going to get planted with Hobbit on the retrieve. He needs to try and retake this site. No kit, but he's got here in such brisk amount of time that if he can just get himself the kills, he's got more than enough time on the board now. He's being tagged up from Apps. It's going to be Flusha who's being the nightmare for him to contend with, and Crims up on the box is going to get it done. A huge tick in the box for Fnatic as they break Gambit right back again. And this is almost an exact copy of how the first half started, just in reverse. Fnatic won the pistol, Gambit beat them, and then they returned the favor again. So Gambit into a force. This is such a good position to be if you're Fnatic.
Yeah, again, they just did so well to handle that double pit setup. Again, that can be so hard to deal with. You saw Gambit trying to get a little bit aggressive and pushing out pit with the smoke on the edge, but it gets thwarted by Fnatic. And now they're just one round away from tying this thing right back up, and Gambit won't have too much to say about it. Just upgraded pistols and armor themselves, but we know how dangerous they can be. Certainly Fnatic has proven that time and time again. Always kind of historically known to be powerful in low buys, but this time they're the ones in the advantage. As again, they're just looking to get control of apartments and top banana, so default stuff here from Fnatic, not unlike Gambit. Just playing the basics of Inferno, again, kind of the staple of any T side.
Peering out of mid on either side. Make sure that no one's holding tight angles, the likes of Quad or in the alcove. More passive in its approach with Mo in arches, and Zeus watching long angle. It's more of a try and hit and run style of play this from Gambit, and so far it's been successful as both Zeus and Adren come through with kills. JW on just 5 health. He's in range of all these pistols, and Hobbit's going to go in for a kill. It's all on JW. Can he pull off a miracle clutch? It's asking so much, and the answer is no. Fnatic slip on a banana peel and face plant. It's difficult to watch, but Gambit, they have stabilized.
And now it's Fnatic, the ones who are on the back foot again. Again, another scrappy beginning to a half. Looks like Fnatic are going to force buy right back into it. Again, no surprise. Neither team wants to concede at this point. The score is so close. The reward is so high if you can get a couple of rounds in a row and force your opponent to tap out. And Fnatic does have that safety net of winning the first map as well, so we'll see what they want to do here. They really want to try to control Banana here. Olaf waiting with the Tech 9. Oh, he's getting cooked here. He can't get out on against the frag. He was definitely dancing around trying to smoke himself out, but really couldn't. Crims does get a kill on the other side, though.
Because I think he knew if he throws that smoke, his position's compromised, right. And it's one of the kind of times where you so badly don't want to give it away. You're hoping the Molotov doesn't spread beneath you. Unfortunately, he loses out on that, as do the rest of Fnatic. Zeus, the only player to fall to the hands of Crims. It was a pretty solid 1D earlier in the round, but it's unlikely it's going to be followed up with any repeat performances. Hobbit's already pushed straight down into Banana on the logs. This is where the UMP should shine, but he actually gets traded out. Does do plenty of damage. And with Adren having an M4A4, you better believe he's going to start spraying as soon as that smoke lands, and he's going to get himself the kill. Also, not just JW, but nearly Crims on top of that. If they can get a bomb plant, and that pretty much is going to be a nice bonus, but it's so unlikely that Crims gets the clutch from this point. And there we have it. Doja puts him out of his misery. Fnatic do concede again.
Yeah, with that bomb plant, I mean, I guess they could force again, but you really wonder if they should. I mean, you're setting yourself really far back if you do again and it doesn't work out. But never can really know what Fnatic's going to do. And I think that just gives them the extra money to save up for another buy. I like this approach, like they're kind of halfway buying. Like, I mean, they're getting Deagles, but they're not going super heavy-handed on armor on everyone. Like, they're leaving themselves options. They're just evening the money. They're making sure they can still buy in the next round, but still giving them some chances in this one.
Yeah, it makes more sense. Because if they'd forced up there, they'd have left themselves in such a bad position. Zeus straight down, no respect shown, no quarter given. This half buy has seemingly been completely ineffective. Crims gets the drop onto Zeus. It's not a second kill in it for him. 4-round lead has been established.
Yeah, just an aggressive push down middle here from Gambit, just trying to get in Fnatic's faces, knowing that they were vulnerable, and it does pan out. But now this is the moment that Fnatic have been waiting for. They'll get the 5 AKs out, head armor on everyone, a little bit of utility out there as well, particularly on Crims and Dennis. They're actually sitting pretty when it comes to nades. It's just about what Fnatic want to do. Again, can play that balanced default, but they also have some very aggressive early round pushes that they could put to use. And in this round, they're definitely looking to put a little bit more emphasis over here towards Boiler and Apartments, but still fairly spread out. But that smoke at the bottom of Banana not really allowing Flusha and Olaf too much vision right now. They're having to wait it out.
Yeah, it just feels like Fnatic are being slowly and gradually suffocated on this map. They can't really free themselves up and get too much going for them.
They've already used so much utility as well, and they still haven't really gained much ground for it. So that really limits what they have to work with on the actual execute. I mean, don't get me wrong, they still have the standard smokes to, you know, do the banana play with smoke CT spawn coffins and things like that, but
Well, it has been dinked there. A brisk headshot delivered partially through the wall, so it wasn't insta-kill. It was delivered from an AK. Doja and Dennis both trading out on the kills. And Gambit themselves don't have too much to play with in terms of utility. And JW may get caught. Oh, that is such a horrific moment for JW. Decides to back away, and that very second Zeus peeks in. Hobbit, the back of the site, is going to deliver 1 kill, and now he has some backup arriving. And this should be a formality at this stage. Flush is going to pick himself up another one. That's going to afford them another bomb plant, so they're at least getting these bomb plants grinded away in rounds that they should be losing. I say that, but Flusher has it within him to clutch this, but no. I was getting too optimistic. Time to be put back in my place alongside Fnatic. 13-8 will be the score.
yeah, so as each round passes, that map 3 is looking ever more likely as Gambit are just a few away from forcing the hand of Nuke to determine things here. Fnatic, though, with that bomb plant, still have options to buy. And you will see the AKs come out on 3 of their players. UMP on Olaf, so they've bought all that they can, but it is limited, of course, even more so than the last round. So we'll see if they have any life left in them or if Gambit's going to lock things up here as, again, putting some pressure on Banana early, and they get both opening frags.
Well, this map seems to be going the way of the dodo for Fnatic. That's an alarmingly fast rate. Mope slightly off on the flick. Not that you can really blame him. Heavy smoke in his eyes. Zeus, who's down on T steps. Roles being reversed here with the CTs aggressing on the terrorists.
Yeah, you've seen Gambit much more prone to actually like push down stuff instead of Fnatic, who is, you know, more content just to kind of sit back on their CT side and give up a lot of map control and just make sure they could hold the sites. Gambit have been much more active. Now it's a 2-on-4. Make that just JW now, having to try to clutch this alone. Probably has a good chance to get Hobbit here, but oh no, the smoke will stop him from having to come out, so maybe not even going to get that.
Yeah, that's the correct read on the situation. He knows someone's going to be pushing behind him. There's just too many players, too many angles to watch out for, so we can't fully set himself in position and try and systematically take one player down at a time. And that's credit to Gambit, honestly. They're keeping themselves in these buddy systems. Fair enough, JW has got himself a kill onto Hobbit, but it doesn't seem like it's going to make a great deal of difference. He's about to get picked on the cross from Zeus. Or is he? Yes, he will. A bit delayed, but still the same result.
So we're drawing closer to nuke now as Fnatic is running out of time for the 2-0. Again, they're kind of in just a 4-spot to survive scenario, so you'll keep seeing them buying as they keep racking up loss bonuses. They'll be able to continue getting small buys like this, but one of them's going to have to work here soon, otherwise they're out of this. Gambit have done well to hang around in this series. Great work from really all of them when you look at the scoreboard.
No one really lagging behind. Gambit having a solid map of CS. Fnatic just running into brick walls. JW with an entry onto Doja. Dren's under the caution. East the cart swinging here. 1-for-1 trade. Solid for Fnatic, but there's Hobbit once again. Stabilizing alongside Zeus. He's on 8 health. He's about to see action from Crims if he decides to push, but Crims decides better off than. He's waiting for his partner in crime of Dennis to make his move through apps.
Yeah, they were up ahead most of this round, but now it's even out thanks to Zeus, though he does have low HP. He's got the kit on his back, and Hobbit's coming around as well, so still a chance to retake here. Zeus just has to kind of wait for Hobbit to get in position, who's still flanking through Banana. They will meet up at middle together. Zeus, with low HP, will take the AWP.
And Hobbit is going to join alongside him. Really pushing separate sides of the site. Hobbit deciding on the arches. Zeus on quad. With the aforementioned AWP, he's going to try and find himself a kill. He's looking into Graveyard, no one home. And there's Dennis, who runs straight by and connects onto Hobbit. So Fnatic are going to pick up another round. Zeus is backing away to save the AWP. Keeping the dream alive for the time being, but it's hard to see how this half has gone so far, that they're going to pick up another 5 or so rounds after this.
Certainly, the odds are still stacked against them. It's really Gambit who are sitting in the position of comfort right now. The backs of Fnatic are the ones that are up against the wall, but that will at least keep them hanging around. And because of that, they're actually able to get together a much better buy in this round, right? I mean, they'll have all the AKs, they'll have utility out there pretty well off also. So, I mean, this is actually a pretty ideal buy for Fnatic now. They're finally working with something. Triple banana pressure coming out of Gambit, though, very early on. They're looking to get fast, and Mo will actually push past the nades and get out here and get the kill. Oh, man, that's a slap in the face to Fnatic.
That is a drop kick to the plums right there. If you're Fnatic, you're finally starting to get some momentum. I'm just going to put you through smoke and wreck you and also escape. GG, well played. Thanks for trying.
That certainly does give you that lower stomach pain, I am sure, as Fnatic still trying to see if they can bounce back with some middle control, and Crimson at least evens up the numbers, but not after Zeus responds. It's trading back, though, thanks to JW. A lot of chaos, but it leads to a 2-on-2 where Fnatic actually have full control of the site, and they can plant no problem. And now they just have to play the post-plant hold, and Olaf actually in perfect position to cut off the mid-rotation from window room.
And they knew this because Mo was the player that got the pick on Banana, and Hobbit's typically the B players. They knew they could go straight for that plan, able to recuperate and set themselves in solid positions. This is an angle that you're not typically going to check that Olafmeister's in, and he's played this to perfection. Their timing on point. And again, for the second consecutive round, Gambit try and save the AWP. Fnatic will strike again, getting up to double digits.
What a hero JW is right there. That was looking so grim whenever you see what happened at Banana with Mo's AWP, and the fact that Zeus was able to light up that lane push, but then JW comes right back out of apartments. He gets into a 2-on-2, and they shut it down. So it's 10 rounds now for Fnatic. They joined the double digits club, and they're only a few away from forcing a tie. And I mean, money is starting to get a little bit low here on Gambit. Don't get me wrong, there's still definitely some money floating out there. I mean, Mo has an AWP plus money to drop someone. There's definitely money on Zeus. So there definitely can be some dropping going around in this round to make sure there's a full buy to contest Fnatic, but money's still so low on guys like Hobbit, Doji, and Adren that you really have to think this one through, because you got to think about the long term.
Yeah, and even though they'll be able to afford this round, as you say, it's more about the next one. If they were to lose this, then they're in a position where they're likely ecoing. And I'm not sure if Flush has misread this situation and he assumes that there simply isn't going to be much funds on Gambit. But he's gone for a Mac 10. Now, they can rummage together a pretty decent buy. It may include a couple players without head armor, and that's where the Mac 10 will shine. But I do worry a little bit for Flusher here if they're not able to rummage together a full-on purchase.
I also wonder if Gambit even wants to drop guns. Like, do they want to make sure they have money for the rest of the half? And, you know, in case Fnatic starts winning a couple of more rounds, you don't want to get forced to save late. So maybe you could see them be really conservative here and just drop some upgraded pistols to some of these low-money players and just try to play around the op in, like, CZs or something like that.
That is a good point, yeah. I mean, they have... Obviously, you guys can't currently see, but they've got 6.9k on Zeus. Mo's got an AWP and Kevlar, of course, that he was able to save in the previous round and has 5.3k. But then you have Adren on 2.9, Doja 2.4, and Hobbit 1.9. And it's actually an issue right now, a technical problem, which is the reason for the pause going on a little while longer. I think players deciding that they want to go use the bathroom. Or at least that's what they're typing in chat.
Apparently they just couldn't wait. Luckily, you were able to yesterday in the 5 overtime game, but not the case here. So
had to tie a knot on it, though, to be fair. It was getting close towards the end. Oh, okay. I've been told the players aren't going to be going.
All right.
Oh.
We'll see what happens. We're just going to play this one by ear. It's still a developing situation. We're bringing the latest news per our sources as it comes to us. Oh, man. I mean, this one was looking like Gambit were going to force nuke. It was all but there. They were right at the doorstep, but then all of a sudden, Fnatic have woken up a bit here on this T side. They started to put some rounds together, and now they actually have Gambit in a tough economic situation that they have to really think through.
I think you may hit the nail on the head, though. I mean, obviously, it could go either way, but now that you've mentioned it, this could very well actually just be an eco with maybe Zeus dropping a few pistols, maybe Mo drops a couple of pistols, in which case Flusher is just ahead of the curve. You know, that Mac 10 could very well be the farming frenzy that he was looking for.
Yeah, it's not like they have that much money sitting over there either. I mean, you figure if Gambit somehow wins this round 15-10, one round loss bonus comes in, they're not sitting that pretty, actually. I mean, they'll buy up what they can, obviously, but it wouldn't be anything near what they have now.
But I've just seen Mo drop an M4.
All right, yep, so they're going for it.
They are going all in on this round. So I'm curious to see, is that Mac 10... There's no lack of head armor. That Mac 10 could be a real concern now for Flusher. Of course, there's no way of him knowing this, and it can still rip through armor if you're close range. They may assume this is some kind of an eco. The flashbangs are on point, and it's not going to be necessary, because Flush is straight through in the blink of an eye. Like the flash, he just appears. A 1-for-1 trade actually will probably favor Fnatic. They can now try and rummage their way over on the A side of the map, where Zeus is waiting on archers. And Doja in pit.
So we're back into a 4-on-4 standstill right now after Flusha got his opening pick. It was traded by Mo very quickly. Now everything has kind of settled down. JW maintains control of apartment. But they're shuffling that bomb back over here towards Banana with Dennis and Olafmeister, the carrier being Krims. Perhaps looking to set up some utility here on B. Both players actually playing inside the site, and they don't really have anyone nearby to rotate, so they'll have a numbers advantage no matter which site they hit, but it's just about cracking open the positions. They do have the Molotov on Krims to flush out new box, at least. Maybe get someone in open space.
Well, Nade's starting to descend onto the site. Doja elsewhere will lay down JW, so it's going to be very much a hit on B. They can't afford to turn tail and run away now. Time is scarce. And Mo's health is too. Dennis comes through with an entry. Fnatic are getting the kills where it counts. A flick from Dennis into the forehead of Zeus, and he will also fall by the wayside. Doja, do you realistically think you can clutch a 1-on-3 without a kit in this scenario? Or are you just setting up for exits?
That's certainly the latter, you would imagine, at this point. But just the entries on Fnatic, so crisp. Mo not able to get that op shot off from the back corner. And that really stinks because you think if he can get that kill and he stays alive and they hold that back line, it's going to be difficult for Fnatic to press in, but instead they get the entries. Great work here from Dennis particularly. Krim's also a part of it. And they do force that 11th round. Luckily, Dozy is at least limiting what they get to carry over. Keeping the money low on Fnatic that can still help them out as this thing continues to go the distance, but Fnatic are hanging around all of a sudden, and again, that money's low from Gambit because they did go heavy-handed in that round. They just saved that one AK, and now you got to think that they're looking to save in a situation like this, just upgraded pistols.
They do have quite a bit of round loss bonus coming up, but with a few of them actually dipping deep. I mean, you got Hobbit down to $950, Use on $1,400. Gives them a bit of power to play with, but it could be at the cost of some extra nades in the next round. Molly into Apps, not going to deter Zeus. A flashbang's there, but it actually hits JW just as bad as anyone else. Oh no. This would be a horrendous way to lose the round if it just comes off the back of that. There's also weapon has traded hands, but Krims is going to maintain balance and order. And the CS squad smile upon Fnatic for the time being. But it is all even, and Gambit aren't out of this just yet.
And they do have that extra AK now in play now. Thanks to that frag, Zeus is going to have it, so that makes the defense even a little bit more formidable. Fnatic has to play from the 4-on-4. Again, just looking to see if anyone's going to give them an opening. Olaf has that AWP trained at the top of Banana, but no one's showing themselves just yet, though Hobbit is up close. He's going to actually peek with this 5-7, does some damage, but now he's trapped behind the sandbag, trying to stay alive. A great flash comes in, allows him a frag, but at least Olaf's able to trade back with the HE nade, so it stays even. But the AK armor players are the ones that are still alive for Gambit. They're leaning towards B. They're trusting Zeus just to kind of hold A alone. No look from Fnatic, though, that indicates they're looking that direction. They're running out of time as well, so they're going to have to go in soon, and it's going to be the site that has the most defense.
Only 15 seconds. It just takes a stray spray to take Fnatic out of this. Doja biding his time, waiting at the back of the site. Mo's going to come for a kill, but Dennis actually lands the entry, and Mo is so close to being knocked down that he can't afford to re-peek. Fnatic have escaped the issue of a lack of time, and Zeus gets out-traded. That should never be happening. I'm pretty sure Olaf had a nade out when that started.
Oh, you got so many bullets in there, but he just needed one more. He didn't get it. Olaf stays alive with 15 HP, gets the respawn frag, and so now it's 12-14. 12-14. And so now Fnatic are just 2 rounds away from tying up Gambit, and now all of a sudden Inferno is no longer a foregone conclusion. Fnatic are certainly posing a threat. They're knocking on the door. That 2-0 option still sitting out there, and Fnatic are doing their best to ensure that that's in fact what happens. Olaf does lose his life there in the end, so it does again limit what they're carrying over. Forces a lot more rebind, but the money is there on most of the players. Meanwhile, Gambit, I mean, look at this. You lose this round, you've got nothing when Fnatic goes for the tie. So, I mean, this is a round they must win if they want to hold Fnatic off.
And see, herein lays the issue with going for more of an investment in that previous round. They only have 1 kit. Zeus only has 1 smoke. The rest of the team does have plenty of firepower, but it's not quite the maximum purchase you'd be looking for. Of course, it could be more than enough. They just need to land the kills. 14-12. Gambit's favour, but considering at one point this looked like Fnatic were just spiraling out of control and we were heading to nuke, things starting to get a bit more interesting, a little bit more intense.
It's like Fnatic are looking to try to control brackets here. They put that smoke up to block Zeus off, but Mo still holding an angle on Boiler. He still might be able to find first blood if they peek him a bit too much. They're certainly throwing some noise down here at middle, but still no commitment just yet, but most of their attention is laying on this side. Bomb still down outside window room, still plenty of time. Still do have Olaf posted up with an AWP at Banana as well.
JW is going to land himself a kill. That's why you expect to see a flash or a smoke precede the peak. May not end up mattering though. And Trent does come back with a pretty vital kill, but it may not be enough to stop this bomb from going down. It's going to take a little while longer. It's still transitioning through. App side off's going to drop that now so he can keep himself the back of pit with the AWP. Dennis goes for the plant, and now Hobbit and Adren decide, well, we're tapping out of this. We don't want any part of it. We still have rounds as a buffer. The Fnatic bring it back one round closer. That is now going to be 5 in a row. It was 14-8 at one point, and now Fnatic have nearly equalized this up.
Yeah, it's just these two guns being saved. There was really no chance for Gambit to retake there. Not at a numbers disadvantage with no kits, and really the only utility they had was that one incendiary from Hobbit. So thinking of their economy, this was definitely the better option, and so they will allow Fnatic another step closer. This next round, they'll get what they can. It'll include these 2 rifles at least. But Fnatic are really building some momentum now in a key moment in this game. And remember, elimination is on the line for Gambit. They lost the first map. I mean, they want to try to, defend their title. Obviously, they won out in Austin. They weren't able to make it out to Tor to defend there. And we haven't really seen them playing a whole heck of a lot, to be honest. I mean, they didn't have any games since DreamHack Austin, in fact. Like, they've kind of gone quiet when it comes to official matches for quite some time. And so a group stage elimination here would certainly hurt.
Especially in the manner in which it would come as well. Having a real chance at both maps, but losing Train Mo is going to dispatch of Dennis. All he required was the elbow peeking out. Zeus has already done most of the work anyway. It's a great way to kick things off in round 28 though, when so much rests on this round.
Absolutely. You allow this round, Fnatic ties it up, and the money's low on Gambit. That gives them actually the advantage to actually take series points, so that was a big kill to get from Mo. Fnatic not able to equalize yet, as they are split up still, just kind of keeping it default, but you see that they're coming off of apartments already. With about a minute left on the clock, they are starting to gather up here at Banana. They do have the smokes to block off CT spawn and coffins. They have the Molotov to pick one spot to clear out on the B-bomb side itself, but this extra rotation from Gambit is in play. You already see Mo bringing the op over to assist. So this could be quite damaging for Fnatic unless they can just get through brute force alone, but they're going to do so at a disadvantage.
This does not bode well for the Swedes. Mo now realizes there's a very good chance he's about to get peaked. He's going to wait off. Patience on point. He gets flashed initially, but he waits his time. He's going to pick up 3 kills, not quite a 4th. Olaf will not allow him to take everyone down by himself, but he has no choice anymore. Headshot from the side. Great work by Mo. I feel like a lot of AWPers, as soon as that flash comes through, they instantly just go for the shot, but he waits. That extra second made all the difference.
Yeah, just unfortunate for Fnatic. They kind of just choose the wrong side. They play right into the stack that had been placed by Gambit thanks to Mo's early rotation, and then he just delivers off of that. Those are some big frags. And now all of a sudden it's map point for Gambit trying to force that 3rd on nuke. There's still hope for Fnatic though to force an overtime. They still do have some guns in play in this round, but it's going to be more difficult now. As again, they just open up, trying to get some map control, and Olaf finds top Banana by himself, gets both entries. B's wide open now. They don't have the bomb in place just yet to capitalize, but they're going to keep putting pressure on. Dozy does take out JW though, and Zeus has been able to rotate. Bomb's still not in place.
And that is the key point, thus. The bomb not in place. It has not been planted, and it won't be for a little while. Zeus is still using that slight gap in the smoke, but that's going to be taken away from him. Almost a tantrum spray. Give me back my vision. Not going to happen. Bomb planted. Gambit are getting out of there. Olaf and his 2 entries have secured the round for Fnatic, and we are going the distance. Mo is going to make it sting a little bit more. But again, Fnatic down, but not out. And realistically, are they going to go all in on trying to take these weapons away? Dennis is maneuvering himself, trying to get up close and personal with the remaining CTs.
Yeah, Dennis knows how big it would be to get these guns out of their hands. 3 guns being saved is actually quite a lot, especially with all the utility that they have and the kits and the armor. That's so much being carried over. Not able to find any damage though, so it will come down to a 30th round. Again, Fnatic no strangers to OT, and Olaf no stranger to being the hero that brings them to it. These kills were big to keep Fnatic alive here on Inferno. Keep that 2-0 dream alive. They still have a full buy on this round, but so does Gambit. And they're going to go for the triple B pressure again. Going to be a lot harder for Olaf, for someone to take them down this point.
Attempting banana control once more. Both teams exchanging nades. Flusher needs to be careful there. He's taking a lot of damage. The Dren also took a little bit more than he'd be comfortable with from the Molotov.
So much utility just got dumped at Banana, and it was Gambit who come out the victors as they do get control, and they allow Dren to push a little bit deep. He will pull back, though, and they will kind of reset into more of a default stance as Zeus makes his way back around to our side. Mo has the op on lane.
The silence is deafening until we start to hear the smoke connecting on the floor. Flashbang's out. Mo's been here time and time again. This flash is going to land in his eyes. Goes for the instant shot, but no one's home. Quad gets mollied. Dennis notices no one's sprinting out. That side is clear. Flashes also connecting from Gambit, but they're not able to capitalize. So a lot of utility that's being expended and not much in terms of results. Now, the start of the round, that may definitely help the terrorists, but now we're getting towards this stage where time is such a huge issue. They've got to start making some of this stick, and the bomb is still dropped out in mid. They have to come back, pick that up, and go for some entries. There's going to be Flusher that's putting off a lot of the influence over on the other side of the map, but Olaf and Dennis are both coming in for kills, and it looks as though this bomb is going to get planted. The Fnatic really pulled this off from 14-8. They're on the brink of taking us to overtime.
Certainly looks that way, doesn't. Only 2 members left for Gambit, trying to make the retake happen, but Adren's already out all on Hobbit. He's doing a lot of damage, but the trade back comes from Dennis. And so there you have it. Fnatic, they forced another overtime in this tournament. They were the losers of it in 5 against CLG on Train. That's why they're here today. But now they have a chance to fight the 2-0. They still have the safety net of a third map if this doesn't go their way. And what a great play from Fnatic. The mid-round call that took place there to get control of brackets, then fade back over to Banana, throw smokes down on the site, keep people guessing. What it actually did when they threw those smokes on Banana, it forced the Arch player to peek brackets, to check for information, to see if they were still there, to see if they were jumping back to Banana. And when he peeked, he got killed. That gave Fnatic the entry they needed to kind of start snowballing things. And you saw they kept those 2 players in place at Banana. They were able to get some more entries on the A-bomb site. That was just so well managed by Fnatic. And so now we are going to be going to OT. The rule set is MR3 16K, so economy really not a factor in overtime. You basically get to throw everything at your opponent. Never really have to worry about saving or ecos or anything like that. The money's always usually going to be there. They showed their hand just yet. They're just maintaining control of apartments, but Mo holding off brackets, taking Dennis down, so that's going to deny a lot to Fnatic. And he even finds JW in the apartments. This is devastating, but Crims is at least responding.
Mo able to land the shots into center mass and knocks the terrorist packing. And now Crims with a spray control. Able to drag this back into another tag team duo of Crims and Flusher, Hobbit and Adren. Now Hobbit's going to be playing solo for the time being, and he's going to get caught. Adren surely has been heard running up mid, and there's Crims to take him down. Fnatic will be taking the lead, 17-16, and
it's just the individual efforts from Fnatic. It was all off in the previous round. That time it was all Crims saving the day. It was looking so grim when Mo was popping off those op frags, but then all of a sudden Crims just rolls out with some really big frags. Here's the 2 of them, even able to get this pit player with the reset on the aim. Doesn't even need to see more than really just a sliver here to finish it off as well. As soon as Adren comes around, he's down. And so big plays from individual players give Fnatic the edge. The 2-0 still sitting out there now.
From 14-8 to 17-16. The first time that Fnatic have been in the lead, I want to say since maybe the first pistol. It's been a long time either way. 3 AWPs in play, 2 on the side of Fnatic. This has been a reoccurring theme. We saw this a bunch when Fnatic were in CD side just a few moments prior.
That is very true, and they had a lot of success with it. JW controlling the Banana side. All awful has it over towards Arch, and that was really kind of the key to getting their CT side rolling, was these ops doing so well. Hobbit testing the waters against JW. JW misses the shot, but there's no real follow-up to chase him down, so he'll just get away. And also the spam kill in from Flusha. That has to hurt if you're a Hobbit.
Now Gambit, I mean, they're in a situation at this point, Dust, where they're facing the very real possibility of being knocked out.
Yep.
Fnatic winning Train on the brink of taking map 2 and progressing through. Dennis, an important trade, does go the way of Gambit, but Crims is there to pick up the pieces. Mo with another one, the trades back and forth, and once again, no issue surprises. It's 2-on-2, and Mo just flicking off Flush's head. Didn't know what hit it. It's gonna leave a mark. JW now.
Bomb has been planted.
Trying a sound cue as if he's going towards the quad side. That's gonna keep Doja interested. But now that he hasn't peeked, they can have half a mind. They could be archers, but they're actually both looking here. This affords JW a chance to actually rummage his way towards the site. Of course, that's only half the trouble. He has no idea where these two terrorists are, and now Mo's position is known. 17 apiece, though. JW is put down.
Yeah, big play from Mo right there. Especially that op frag he gets in library on that wrap. That was the key. He's been so big in this net. We talked about how he's having some issues on Train, but man, has he shown up on Inferno for his team. He's been the guy well out in front, getting the impact frags the bulk of the time. And those kills up Arch side were massive. That ties the game right back up 17-all. Double op still in play for Fnatic. Same positions as well. JW continues to try to hold Banana. Olaf continuing to try to see what he can do on the A side. This time he'll actually approach it from Porch rather than the Arch side. So trying to shuffle his position up just a little bit here. Also putting down some utility, trying to deny Gambit early access to brackets. Some damage has been dealt at Banana. JW's been taken down a bit, so is Flusha. So a little bit of chip damage going off here. Softening up the defense on this side.
Mo on the prowl, wants to pick up his 40th kill. That's how dominant he has been so far. JW, very much the same thought. In the back of his mind, just wanting those frags wherever he can. Wants to open up, break the deadlock. 50 seconds left. All 10 players remain, albeit some of them in better shape than others. 2 players slapped on the site itself. That's Dennis and JW. Or Dennis and Crims, pardon me. JW's now making a move from the B side towards A. Thinks better of it. He's going to be caught in position as Hobbit is running interference. Olaf not too far off with that attempted flick through the smoke. But now he must know that CT is teeming with terrorists, and he's found out firsthand as Adren gets sent packing. Zeus back with a kill of his own. Only 10 seconds remain. Olaf point blank range. He's going to have to make this orb shot stick, but instead he's going to move out on that opportunity, and Zeus comes through with one of his own. Dennis on the site. Can he stop the plant? No. And it's gone horribly wrong, but Fnatic are going to win the round. It's just simply put, Gambit get timed out. What the hell?
Yes, Zeus came off of it and had to pull out the Tech 9 to go for frags, I believe. He was trying to plant in the center of the site, so he was not able to get the bomb planted. So despite the frags were going in favor of Gambit there towards the end, they just weren't able to secure the bomb plant. The most important part, if you're a terrorist, is... Oh, as Olaf stops it. Oh, JW, my bad. Okay, so that's exactly what happened. All right, so keep cat frag from JW. Thanks for the replay. We didn't see it from his perspective, so I wasn't quite sure what happened there, but now we know, and now it's 18-17, and all of a sudden, Fnatic 1 round away from 2-0ing this series, from getting the playoff spot, the Challenge Immortals tomorrow, as of course the other one's already set. It's going to be CLG SK on the other end. But can Gambit force another overtime? That's the question now. Again, default setup, but a little bit heavier presence towards B.
Solid setup from both teams. So much on the line. Olaf not far off with that shot. So more of a warning shot than anything else, and Gambit would be wise to heed that warning. They will push through. Doja down to 52 health.
But they have control of brackets here. The bomb's in their possession as well. They still do have Hobbit trying to play out towards B. But again, Fnatic content to just fade back and hold down. That was their specialty in regulation. It worked well for them. Olaf, though, misses the shot. Zeus able to get the advantage. That's going to allow him to get in the CT spawn. And now B all of a sudden may be cracked open. It's so vulnerable. JW has to come up big here. So does Flusha. They're so cut off from their team.
Zeus needs to check his left-hand side, and JW will punish him and gets a second kill as well. The bomb's been dropped out. Flush is able to get it on the cross. On new box, JW comes through with another one. He's going to go down. And how fitting it's that. We've got a 2-on-2, and Dennis gets the double spray. Fnatic have done it. 14-8 behind, and they end up winning 19-17 to knock Gambit out 2-0.
They are just showing their perseverance right now. They had a shocker yesterday against CLG, but they battled their way back through, and they found their rightful place in the playoffs on home soil. Took Train relatively convincingly. This one, it took a lot of extra effort to come back and force an overtime. They had to do an extra round. They